Red Clay, and welcome to Red Clay Rewind. I am Sam Golder, Director of Secondary Education. I hope you've all had as great of a first half of the school year as I have. It's truly amazing all the fun, exciting, and educational happenings going on throughout our phenomenal school district. I see great things on the horizon for 2019, but before we can look ahead, I thought it might be great to take a look back at the first 5 months of the year. August seems such a distant memory today, but it makes me feel, well, I don't know, nostalgic, proud, happy, hungry. Yes, hungry. Why, you ask? Well, because back in August is when Red Clay rolled out their newest addition to the family, the Red Clay Lunchbox. Let's take a look back.
Hi, I'm Jessica Terranova, and I'm the Food Service Manager for the School Nutrition Programs at Red Clay School District. Today, you are at Baltz Elementary, where the School Nutrition Program has our food truck, the Red Clay Lunchbox you see behind us. The intention of the food truck is to serve not only the kids of Red Clay, but also the kids in the local communities that may have food insecurity in the summertime. The truck during the school year we plan to use for special events at the schools, hopefully at after-school events, possibly even take it to sites where kids are on field trips during the day to make it easier for them to get access to healthy meals during the school day.
Cheesesteak with mushrooms, onions, and peppers, and veggie pizza, and regular cheese pizza.
So how's the pizza, everybody?
Good. The truck design was actually a collaboration between myself, everyone in my office, Jess Fair and Emily Hamlin, and the ladies in the office, as well as help from EDtv with the concept of the design. But it looks like a giant school lunchbox, a giant old school metal school lunchbox, if you can see behind it. We always are looking at innovative ways to make school lunch different and fun. In the standard cafeteria service model, you're kind of boxed into the standard service. The food truck allows us to offer innovative style school meals in a food truck style. So it will be compliant with the school meals program, but the actual food served off of the truck will be more food truck service style. So cheesesteaks chopped on a fresh griddle. We have an 8-stack pizza oven in there, so we can do different varieties of pizzas. We plan to roll out tacos, different things like that you might see on the school menu, but they'll be served different, like I said, food truck style, to make it more fun for the kids and not their standard school meal. The reactions have been, everyone's excited about Red Clay having the opportunity to roll out this truck. They're really excited to see what we can do with it, and I'm excited to see how the community, the Red Clay community, reacts to it when it pulls up to a school building or possibly a big school event. And I think so far we've had nothing but positive responses, and today is our first big reveal. So we're hoping after today it'll only continue to grow and you'll only see it on the streets of Red Clay surrounding community more and more often.
I can honestly say I've had some incredible nutritional sustenance from Red Clay's own food truck, thanks to the team for my outstanding egg and cheese on a bagel back just about a month ago. Went back to my office and took a nap after that one. As a matter of fact, I secretly track the whereabouts of the truck so I can plan my school visits around its location. But that's just between us, okay? Moving on. Well, nothing really moves along in Red Clay without the help of the transportation team. And some of the most important people who our students come in contact with on a daily basis are their school bus drivers. They are usually the first people our kids are greeted with in the morning here in Red Clay, and they're the last ones to wish them a great evening at the end of their long school day. So that is exactly why we thought it was important to see who they are with a video we created called Meet the Bus Driver. Check it out.
My name's Linda Springer, and I'm a school bus driver, and I've been doing it for 29 years.
I'm Samantha Springer. I'm a bus aide, and I've been doing it for 4 years now.
It's rewarding because you're with kids every day, and you get to talk to them. They tell you all kinds of stories, the stories that comes out of their mouths every day, you have to laugh with some of these kids' stories. It's just rewarding having that everyday, accomplishments with the kids.
Being a bus aide sometimes it's hard. Special needs kids need that attention and that everyday face that they see. You have to be constantly here. Even though you get sick or anything, those special needs kids bring out the great in you. And that's what I love about being a bus aide.
Becoming a bus driver it's dedication, a very good driver, and very much patience with the kids. You have to love kids to begin with. Being a bus driver is about having relationships with your students, your peers, other drivers here at the yard, and even the other co-workers that are inside the office. You need to have good communications with everybody. It's very important to everybody here. There's nothing else I'd rather do than be a bus driver. Like I said, every day's a holiday at Red Clay.
Two wonderful ladies who really care about the students of Red Clay. You know, our transportation department is the best. Speaking of the best, do you all know about the Best Buddies program we run throughout the district? Well, if you don't, let me tell you a little bit about it. Best Buddies is a nonprofit organization that exists in many of our schools. It's a volunteer movement that creates opportunities from one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, and leadership development for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's a wonderful program here in Red Clay. And you know what else? One of our middle schools was recognized as having the Best Buddies program in the state. Let's take a look.
Tom Waite, State Director for Best Buddies Delaware.
My name is Mike Pasquale. I am the Office Assistant for Best Buddies.
This was an exciting opportunity to recognize HB DuPont Middle School as the outstanding Best Buddies Middle School Chapter of the year for the year 2017-2018. A terrific honor. We have 8 middle schools that have chapters in Delaware, and each of those chapters submitted an application, and after review, it was obvious that HB DuPont did a great job with their Best Buddies chapter. Best Buddies International recognizes HB DuPont Middle School as an outstanding chapter. Best Buddies proudly recognizes the incredible contribution your chapter has made in creating more inclusive and equitable communities for people with disabilities. Your commitment to creating opportunities for friendship, leadership, and acceptance influences positive change and builds a better world for all of us. Thank you, Anthony Kennedy Shriver, founder and chairman, Best Buddies International. We are so honored and thrilled to be able to present this to the former faculty advisor for the Best Buddies chapter here at HB DuPont, Miss Sarah Brady.
That video just makes my heart happy. You know that feeling when you get with something so good it makes you feel like dancing? It's sort of that same feeling I see when our students rolled out that one-to-one technology program and we provided everyone with Chromebooks. As a matter of fact, we hear in Red Clay that we even made a music video to inform the students on how to care for their new Chromebooks. So put on your dancing shoes and let's drop that beat, DJ.
Attention, please.
You ready?
Ready.
Are you ready? Ready? Response, response, response. Critical, respect, respect, respect.
You may now begin the chorus.
So here's a critical mission. We know you've been wishing. Be a good digital real citizen. Take that Chromebook that you took, but look, Rook. Round your hands, food and water that could land on that piece of machinery, cause that could cost you some greenery. And no one wants it on their conscience, expensive, pristine, broken by ignorance. Or the small hands of a baby brother, or the large hands of an angry mother. So remember, it's yours to protect, so use your intellect. And remember, first step is respect. Respect, respect, respect. Are you ready, 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 ready? Responsible, responsible, treat respect, 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 respect. Are you ready? Are you ready, ready? Responsible, treat your Chromebook with some respect now. Ready, ready, ready? Responsible. Second step is to be responsible. Think of this step as contractual. Actual, well that's factual. It's the next rule and I use a manual. Nothing's worse than seeing a Chromebook fall, so protecting it sometimes may seem like a tall order to follow. These rules should ring hollow, so don't punch it, focus it, cause your screen time may vary. When it cracks it will be a very hard day in your school life. Like a meal with no knife, you'll be starving in strife. So be responsible, B to the E, responsible. B-E-E, responsible. Are you ready, ready, B-E, responsible. Are you ready, 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 ready? Are you ready, responsible? Treat your Chromebook with respect, respect. Are you ready, ready, responsible? Treat your Chromebook with respect, respect. Now we got the 1 and the 2, let's head to the 3. It's important that you respect this responsibly. Are you ready? It's the third R to follow. Not a heavy pill to swallow, so it's safe. Carry is essential, don't forget to face the consequential. Fallout when you drop out, so you hold it with 2 hands when you take it out. Treat it better than the iPhone with the cracked screen, or you'll be feeling less than pristine. Ready, ready, ready. Responsible, responsible, responsible. Treat it with respect, yo. Ready, ready, ready. Responsible. Treat your Chromebook with respect, respect. Ready, ready, ready. Responsible, responsible.
You have now completed this lesson.
Thank you very much.
That is one of those little ditties you find yourself singing throughout the day. Oh, and I did forget to mention that the star of the video is Cab Calloway's own Anthony Grassi. Forget Lady Gaga. A star is born in Red Clay. And if I do say so myself, we have lots of stars in this district. So moving on through our year and our district, October to be exact, fall was in the air, the leaves were on the trees, and the temperatures didn't cool down as much as they usually do, but it didn't stop our students from enjoying 2018's latest season. It was time for the Fall Festival, and the Cook Cardinals do it as well as anyone in Red Clay. So let's jump right on in and take a look back at all the fun and games at the Cook Fall Festival.
This is the Cook Fall Festival. My favorite part is the bouncy house.
Now that looked like a good time. And here's a little tidbit for you. That video was filmed by Miss Zegda's Video Club. That's right, Spielberg, look out. We've got some talented 5th graders looking to take your job and make their mark. First stop, Cook Elementary. Next stop, Hollywood. Anyway, great work, kids. So with our fall just starting and the weather still nice, we stopped back to the H.B. DuPont Middle School, where the students took their learning to the great outdoors. Check this out.
The outdoor classroom came about from feedback from my students. I asked them what the hardest part transitioning from 5th grade at an elementary school to 6th grade was, and they said the fact that they aren't able to go outside anymore. So I took the feedback from my students and then thought also about how much I love flexible seating, and I decided to pair those two ideas together and went to Mr. Bastinelli and the PTA and asked if we could create some type of an outdoor space for our students to learn and be able to get that time outside that they were missing from elementary school. How it affects their learning has been so mind-blowing to me. Just by walking outside, they're so much more engaged in the lessons and the discussions we're having. From the work that I've been getting back, it seems so much more meaningful to them. Just being able to have a change of scenery and sit in a different type of location and not just in a desk and work with groups in a different way outside has enhanced every lesson that I've done out there. The outdoor classroom is kind of getting completed in layers. We first started with just wanting a space to take our students outside. So we started with that large tarp. And then after that, we transitioned to adding seating. So we first started with the log seats that students can sit on in a whole group setting, and now we're branching out into more small group seating where we're adding tire seats and that whiteboard. So now we added that layer of whole group and small group instruction that can be completed outside. And then we're still continuing to add layers. Picnic tables are being made by CTE students in Mr. Wilson's class. We have benches that we're trying to create as well. We're still getting feedback from the students consistently about how they can use the space so we can then add it to our outdoor classroom. Nope, this is a school-wide project. Everyone has the opportunity to go outside. They just sign up on a sheet, like how you used to sign up for a computer lab. Now they just sign up for outdoor classroom times. I've seen 2 English teachers out there. I've seen science teachers. Everyone, even activity blocks are going out to the outdoor classroom. Everyone's utilizing it.
Oh, wow, I wish I could have had classes outside way back in the day when I was in school. The fresh air, the sunshine, the sun on my head. I'm sure that would have helped me with my higher learning. Speaking of higher learning, many of our secondary schools offer something called the AVID program. What is AVID, you ask? Well, it's a college readiness program designated to help students develop the skills they need to be successful in college. The acronym stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and our students are determined to do well in this coursework. Again, something I wish I had when I was in school. Over at Thomas McCain High School, they had an AVID kickoff event for the fall. It featured groups of students. Wait, why do I need to tell you? We could take a look at the event yourself. I'll just show you. Let's roll.
Today what we're doing is having our AVID Fall Kickoff. So what we have done in our program is we allow students to be mentors and mentees. So our juniors and seniors are mentors to our freshmen and sophomore students. Our Fall Kickoff is where they find out who they're paired with, and they also get to spend some time together, learn a little bit about each other, figure out who they have, and then they also do a team building activity, which is what we did today.
Today we're having our Halloween edition. It's a bonding. Basically today we have our mentees. So each and every one of us have a mentee. And today we built a tower out of marshmallows, string, tape, and spaghetti.
Their other challenge that they had to overcome today was that I only let them use one pair of scissors for all 4 groups. Some groups just decided not to use any of the string, and other groups decided to use the string. So the ones that used the string were the ones that were hogging the scissors, and they wouldn't let any other groups get them. Today's activity not only was just for team building, but it was also an exercise in communication. Because in order to create the tower, they needed to communicate with other members of their group on how things needed to be structurally sound. So each member was tasked in a lot of the groups with putting different things together. And then there were others that were tasked with assembling all the other pieces that were around.
3, 2, 1, back away. Hands up, back away. Hands up, back away. Oh, darn it. This is what you have to be. The time the measurement was taken, unfortunately, once again.
Whoever said learning can't be fun? Hasn't seen that video yet. But you know, it's never too early to start the habit of good learning. And back in November, Linden Hill had a special ceremony for its students who have developed some special ways to do just that.
So the event today is our Habanero Assembly. So what we do is we follow the Stephen Covey 7 Habits of Happy Kids. Every week what we do is we focus on one of those habits. For example, habit hero for week number 1 was be proactive. So what the teachers do is they give out leadership leaves throughout the week to recognize kids who are showing that habit. And then at the end of the week, the child that they feel has really emulated that habit, they choose as their habit hero. So that habit hero gets some special privileges in the classroom, some VIP seating, but in addition to that, they also get recognized at one of our several habit hero assemblies throughout the year.
Today is our first official Pride Day. It's our Habit Hero Assembly, and we're going to celebrate students from every classroom who have shown and demonstrated their habit. So thank you all for your support and for being here.
So we do think that through the Habit Hero assemblies and what the teachers get to say about the kids, a little blurb about why, I think the kids need to hear that. The other kids in the other classrooms, like, what did this student do that they were able to earn that habit hero? And now I totally do that. I can do that myself.
The students of Linden Hill have such an abundance of habit heroes. Way to go, Lions. You know there are all types of heroes. Some wear capes, fly through the air. Some, as we just saw, take learning to the next level. But in November, we saluted the heroes that protect this great country of ours. That's right. We celebrated our armed forces right here in Red Clay over at Highlands Elementary School. And we put on a heroic-sized assembly to salute those amazing men and women on Veterans Day. Let's take a look.
Today was our first annual Veterans Day celebration. We wanted to take the time to acknowledge our community members, our staff members, and also our family members, especially those who are really close to impacting our community here at Highlands. So we wanted to extend the opportunity, and we're very proud of our students. They worked really, really hard. They really took the time and they took pride in it, which is something that we instill in our scholars.
Very special way. Our students have had much fun preparing this program for you. We thank you not only today and on Monday, on Veterans Day, but also throughout the year for all that your service has given to us. at this time, a few students have selected some poems of thanks.
Why do you put yourself in danger? Injury and death always a possibility. So I could be free. I don't know what thank you.
Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of all the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I may introduce our heroes, our veterans.
I think this is an amazing opportunity for the students to learn about the veterans and all branches of service, United States Army, Marine, Air Force. Is an opportunity for them to understand why every day that we wake up, the freedoms that we take for granted. This is an opportunity for them to see firsthand, staff and family members, what a difference the military makes in everyday life that we take for granted.
What a beautiful day that was. Thank you to all of our veterans, and thank you to Highlands Elementary students for all their hard work making that day special. You know, it is days like that that really inspire me here in Red Clay. And speaking of inspiring, this next video clip is the epitome of just that. North Star Elementary held an event that still resonates with me today. Two amazing brothers who did what only a few have accomplished. What is that, you ask? Well, how about I show you instead?
We have some very, very special guests up here this morning. Some of you might even recognize our very own North Star Bear, Kyle Mcnulty. And so I will let our special guests introduce themselves. So welcome, guys.
Hello, my name is Kyle Mcnulty, and I am in 2nd grade at North Star, and I'd like to introduce my cousins, Kyle and Brett. They came all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to share about inclusion. Please give a warm welcome to the Ironman athletes.
Kyle's doing an incredible job. He's going to put a big special medal on, so we called him Big Kyle. And this is, unfortunately, for a few more years, he's Little Kyle, but he'll outpace Kyle shortly. But this is Kyle's world champion, Ironman world champion medal. So Kyle and I just did, just a few weeks ago, the Ironman World Championships in Hawaii. So an Ironman is 140.6 miles of racing. So we kind of figured out last class, we're not very good at math, but it's like going to Baltimore and back. So that's a long way, and we had to do it in a boat by swimming 2.4 miles. We had to then use a bike and go 112 miles. And then after all that, we had to do a 26.2 mile run. And every time somebody said no to us, then Kyle and I had to sit down together and we had to figure out how we could say yes. How we
So
could
we
believe in
actually
ourselves.
will do all, I mean, we want to go to schools. We want to share this message with young kids. And, you know, quite frankly, the question and answer part is always the best because they'll never hold anything back.
You did all that running just for a medal?
They're very honest and candid with us, and so we want to be able to share that message because, at least for me personally, you know, having Kyle as a brother has had a profound impact on me from a very early age. And so to be able to share that message that Kyle can do everything that they can and in some ways better is important for us.
We are the first set of brothers to finish the race. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm not saying that for the accolades. What I'm saying is we found a way to say yes when nobody gave us the opportunity. When you have moments of doubt, yes, I can. Yes, you can. and yes, we can. So I really want that to sink inside your belly. And just remember, yes, you can.
Kyle, when we did our first race, you know, I can still hear the echoes of that scream. And he said, you know, I want other people to experience this too, almost instantly after crossing the finish line. So just about 3 months after we finished our first triathlon, we had the Kyle Pease Foundation established to support disabled persons through athletics. And to date, we've served over 100 families, from everything from 5K to marathon to jumping out of airplanes, whatever they want to do.
That you guys are a huge inspiration to us. I had friends in first grade, that's the only grade I got to hear from, that said, I'll match what you give to the child. And they pulled $5 out of their piggy bank and their mom gave them $5. We raised $1,200 for the Peace Foundation. Give yourself a round of applause.
When I got introduced to the sport back in 2010, when Brad did the first Ironman, it really resonated with me because I thought, like, well, this is my life in a nutshell. To go through so many ups and downs, and I go through many ups and downs from a physical standpoint as well. So I get to wanting to share it with Brad and find out, you know, combine with the love of my brother and the love of sports. So I love it. Thank you guys. Y'all have been a great audience today.
Now, if that video didn't move you, then you need to be checked for a pulse, really. I showed that to my family, my friends, anyone who I could reach. Yes, I can. Yes, you can. And yes, we can. Wow. Makes you think, and most importantly, it taught the students at North Star that anything is possible if you have the will, positive attitude, and a loving support system, whether it's family, friends, or whomever. But you know, here in Red Clay, our teachers already understand that message, and they always want to better themselves and their lesson plans for their new students. And over here at AI Middle School, a couple teachers are working with the University of Delaware on how to be the best teachers they can be. Check it out.
We were asked about what services we could offer AI Middle School. You know, we have a framework. It's called Universal Design for Learning, which really looks at the access to the curriculum, access to the general education curriculum, access to learning. And we think that this would be good for teachers at the school. We did a 10-week pilot, and within that we saw a significant change in teachers' instructional practices. We're really trying to engage the students, trying to get more collaboration, more standards-based. We worked with all ELA teachers last year. So with that, we planned with them once a month. That planned lesson, we then came in and observed them. And then we would sit down one-on-one with them and kind of go through the lesson. And it's a process where the teachers self-reflected on their lesson and refined it. And we set goals for the next coaching session or the next coaching cycle.
I think it's impacted my teaching style because it really makes you aware of what the students need and what their barriers are to learning. One of my first responses was that it's really just about good teaching, and best practices. And this is, from experience, there's been talk for a long time about how accommodations like graphic organizers or using a visual aid in addition to saying it out loud are just things that help. They're really necessary for some kids that might have a learning disability, but they're good for all kids. And so a lot of times when I'm teaching, I'm just thinking, well, what's the way that I'm going to get kids to understand this or engage with this content? And then you just do it. So what I've learned since being part of UDL is that it comes part of their 3 domains. You know, are you working on engagement, or are you working on how you present material, or how the kids respond to it?
So the proof for UDL is basically in the student engagement. I can see students who have difficulty traditionally with learning just put a little bit more effort forth. For example, the class that you just experienced is a special education inclusion class, and they are the students who have most difficulty with learning, but I still am able to reach them by preventing any barriers that they have. Perfect example, they like to talk, so I incorporate a lot of talking into the classroom. So with student engagement, I don't know if you heard me say, the ones who are doing the talking are the ones who's doing the learning. It prevents me from doing all the talking as a teacher. So it increases student engagement in a way that you can see the evidence in the work that you get, your product. The quality of the product is better, the content of the product is better, students make connections easier because all of the barriers have been removed from learning.
Hope as the year goes on, I think that trend will thread through all of our readings.
So we look, definitely we look for evidence of what were, in the planning session we find those barriers. So we're looking, when we're observing the lesson, we're making sure that we are seeing what we planned for, and going through those different principles of universal design for learning.
Which ties into the performance task at the end, which is when they're supposed
I
to
really want them to, the teachers to think that we're in this together, that what we do may work. We have modeled lessons in the past, and in one particular case, a couple years ago, it didn't go well. And we sat down and we said, okay, in the coaching session, what were the barriers? We're always going to have those unforeseen barriers. So what do we do the next time? So it's always learning from those mistakes and then going next time, preparing for them.
Getting them to connect what they say to what they've read.
Wow, Red Clay teachers are always going above and beyond to help their students learn. And Miss Taylor Gibbs and Miss Downs are 2 phenomenal examples of that. Way to go, ladies. Your students are going to be better because of your efforts. So thank you on behalf of them. Miss Downs also did something special with one of her classes. She had her class come up with ideas for short films based on some of the readings they were doing in class. Then she reached out to EDtv, who provided video cameras and worked with the students to become amateur filmmakers. Really cool. What was the result, you say? Well, take a look at the never seen before trailer for some spine-tingling, goosebump-raising, scary good films that they put together. Roll it.
Intruder in the building, the school's on lockdown. Why have you disturbed my resting place?
Didn't give up. He is our best friend.
Is it over yet? Yikes. What goes on in the mind of a teenager? Scary, I will tell you. But creative. For a bunch of students who knew nothing about filmmaking to produce what they did, I applaud you all. Nicely done. I look forward to seeing your name in lights in the not-too-distant future. Our last video is one that we just recently finished, but it was well worth the wait, I tell you. At Warner Elementary, they held an event for a true American hero who also just happened to be the first African-American teacher at that school. Really neat event at Warner. Take a look.
about a year or so ago, I think it was, the mayor, he came to me and said, there's a man that we need to recognize and let everybody know about, and we need to find a way to do that. So we talked about it and came up with what you will see tonight. And I know that you're going to be impressed and honored to have known Fred Johnson.
Thank you for coming tonight to such a wonderful tribute. We are honored to work with the City of Wilmington. We're all about children in Red Clay, but we're also about community. And so this is bridging and bringing the opportunities for our students to see it. But we had a lively board meeting here last night with many people, and so it's a building that's used not just during the day, but all day long, every day of the year practically, for folks to come and visit. We do thank you and welcome the partnership and welcome the tribute.
I fell in love with this guy and didn't even know him. I mean, I read this magnificent bio. He was such a powerful person. He didn't let anybody else define him. He just kept, Tuskegee Airman, aviator, teacher. He was an inspiration to me, and I'm so conscious of our kids seeing people that they can look up to and emulate that I wanted to make sure that they saw Fred Johnson in vivid color, and sure what we did up there was a beautiful exhibit that everybody's going to read. Hard to explain it. All I know is I do a lot of these things. This is the only one that has moved me like this in 2 years.
There are just so many amazing individuals that have a connection to Red Clay, and that video is just one example, a fitting tribute to a great man and a wonderful teacher. Well, that is all we have for you today. It was a great but busy first half of the school year, and that was only a sampling of what went on around our school district. Remarkable, right? I know for one, I cannot wait to see what 2019 will bring. I know a couple things already that I'm privy to, and all I can say is, wow, you're not going to believe it. So enjoy the year ahead. We'll be back as soon as the school year winds down for another episode of Red Clay Rewind. I'm Sam Golder. Take care, everybody.